Fellas, it is game day, and before we get there, let's start with the talk of the day. I believe it was this morning. Elliot Friedman, Friedbaum, with his estimate on a Backlund extension. This is his third of, I think, 20 thoughts. He's lazy. It's preseason for him, too. My prediction on Michael Backlund, in the neighborhood of 3 years at $5.5 million. We will see how accurate I am. It's always a grind to get there, but there's will on both sides. So first glance, 5.5 times 3. Again, that's not starting this year. That's starting in the 24-25 season. So the deal would kick in when he's 35 years old, which he turns this spring, and it would finish when he is 38 at the end of that last season. What is your reaction to 3 times 5.5? Dean, I'll start with you.
My reaction is, and I'm not looking to come at you, but whenever we've talked about Backlund, you've said, well, 1 year, a 2 year deal. It's never, that's great for the Flames.
Yeah.
I don't see Backlund. It feels like it's going to be a 3 year deal. He's going to want 3 years, and 5.5, it's absolutely high. But so, to be talking about 2 years at 4.4 or whatever,
love to see it.
It scares me that he's probably right. I fear that it's going to be 3 years, which, as you said, is kind of 4 because he's got 1 year left on this deal.
Yeah.
And it takes him to 38 and 39. And I think he'll still be a fine, serviceable player at 38, but not a $5.5 million.
How the hell do you know?
He will turn into a 38-year-old at the end of that last year. So it's his 37-year-old season that it ends. He'll be 38 that spring. But yeah, I mean, look, he skates well. You hope that he ages better. He's been much healthier.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't think Friedman's going to be far off because he typically knows what the hell's going on. It's what we talked about yesterday. How many of these guys are going to have?
Yeah.
How many guys? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm overreacting to it, but you think that him at 5.5, Huberdeau at the
10.5,
10.5, Kadri at 7.5,
7. Yeah.
Is Lindholm going to get signed? Like, we're going to have 4 centermen, kind of. I guess Lindholm's not technically always center, but like, it's too many. It's too many old guys for too much money.
Yeah, you're locked into 3 30-year-old centers for the next 4 years.
And it's not
Lindholm
against a young fucking league, by the way.
Yeah.
And it's not a shot against Backlund. Get the money. That's it's the rest of it. Just like I said yesterday, I'm not mad if Backlund's a captain. I'm disappointed that the other guys haven't stepped up, that there isn't a better leadership group. Maybe he is good. I'm not mad that Lindholm wants his money. Lindholm's the one guy I would sign out of those 4 and pay him a little extra.
Yeah.
But you're going to have too many of them for too long, for too much. That's the problem.
What does this tell us about Lindholm, boys?
He gone.
Because the more you give Backlund and the sooner you get Backlund, the harder it is to sign Lindholm, in my opinion.
What the hell is... Sorry, now I'm wound up. Why do we have to keep him?
You don't have to do anything, yeah. At those numbers, I wouldn't, Rhett, honestly.
Right? Like,
I'm a big Backlund fan. I don't like 3 years because it's actually 40 your point, Dean.
Worth on the open market in return?
I mean, it sounded like Colorado was interested in adding him before they went and got, what was it, Johansson this offseason?
In reality, what do you think he's worth? Is it a second rounder?
I think you get a second plus for sure. But
yeah, like so do I. And I'm like, can't we fill from within?
There's no centers in the system right now.
But that's the other, and I was going to say, I mean, it's down the road, but what if, and it's a good problem to have, but say in 2 years. So if you sign this deal, you've got Backlund for 4 years. In 2 years' time, Honzek has emerged and is ready to get a crack at the NHL at the center.
Maybe Zari's the thing.
You've got Lindholm, Kadri, Backlund, and the money you've spent on those guys, you'd love to spend on some new young guys. What if Coronado needs a deal like that?
To me, he signs, if Lindholm signs, it's even worse. They are going old school philosophy in a new world.
I agree. I would say that first off, Honzek, like they're going to try at center this year. I don't think that's a slam dunk at all. And Zari's had a nice camp thus far, but it's very early. They don't have centers in the system. But I'm not. That doesn't justify giving this guy this much money or term. I don't like anything over 5, and I don't like anything term over 2. And if Michael Backlund, that isn't enough for him, I think you have to turn them into assets that could be your next centers down the road.
Exactly.
And you know what? You have a little more money to maybe massage a Lindholm deal if you feel like you have to have 2 veteran centers. And look, I looked at it. If Michael Backlund, in a best case scenario, what is he? Like a best case, he has a
Moving
perfect
forward
season.
now, he's your captain and he
probably
gets you
like
40
what
points.
you saw from Patrice Bergeron light.
Yes.
Not even full Patrice Bergeron at 38 last year. What do you think Patrice Bergeron made last year on a 1-year deal?
Well, yeah.
5. I'm not going beyond Bergeron numbers for a guy that doesn't score as much as him, doesn't win Selkies like Bergeron did,
Hasn't been
and
a
wants to be a
captain.
captain. Like, I'm sorry, you don't get market rate if you want at this point.
I know.
We can go a year at a time, and if you're good, we'll keep paying you. But the risk of 4 years at this age, I love Backlund. I hate what Elliott's floating here. That doesn't help this team long term.
Get some cap relief, because every year there are teams that need to shuttle guys. And you mentioned Johansson. That was essentially what happened. You're able to take on some guys who have NHL pedigree and maybe have all of that sort of thing, but teams can't afford to keep them. So why don't you be the landing spot instead of giving up a first rounder for someone else to take?
You gotta get
Sean
the
Monahan.
no move, no trade, the whole full deal, all the money up front too. Like, what are we talking about?
And if I'm the Flames and I'm in love with Michael Backlund and he really wants to be here, my conversation is this: we're going to give you a 2-year deal. It can't be more than 5. And if you're good, we will have no problem bringing you back on deals after that. But we can't afford to be locked in beyond that because there's just too much risk of players of that age.
It's one of those classic cases, it feels like, where a team, if this is accurate, where a team is overvaluing its own.
100%. And no, I'm not even.
I think he's worth 5.5 today, no problem. The challenge is it's the next 4 years is what you're paying him for, not today. He's got a contract today.
And sorry,
you want Michael Backlund at 5.3 or whatever?
What's he making right now? What's he making now?
5.3 or something.
How are you getting a raise at this part?
Well, it tells you he's been good, but
you can't. How old is he? It's not 95.
34. He turns 35 in the spring.
Must be the water in Calgary, because apparently nobody gets, the leadership group in Calgary doesn't get old, and we can just fucking pay them whatever they want. How many playoff games does he have, by the way?
More than the last captain, but yeah.
Really leading him into the promised land. And you know what the shitty part is? I'm taking shots at Backlund, and it ain't Backlund's fault. You want to stay here and be the captain? Take a fucking hometown discount.
Yes, I agree with that. And that's why I keep floating 2 years and less than 5, because otherwise this makes no sense to me. And if I'm Backlund's agent, I'm sure it makes no sense to him. But if you really want to be the guy that you think about it, if he puts 2, 3, 4 more years here with that jersey on, like he goes down as one of those one jersey players. I'm not going to say rafters. I think that might be a little lofty, but he goes into that class of, like, you see him around town. He's a Flame. He's a guy that just is associated with the jersey.
Now, so question for you, and I'm just curious what you guys think. Either way, he plays out this final year. This year ends. Yeah. If he is a free agent, and we know the cap's going up, would he get 3-4 years at 5.5 on the open market?
Probably from a bad team, not from a contender.
That's
team.
That's the point. If you're going to go to a bad team and help fill a hole, so
but even then, that feels like the highest.
Yeah,
end.
That's peak. Yeah, that's like the worst GM in the league's offer is what he wants right now. You think about July 1, all these GMs get to bid. You're theoretically taking the worst evaluation of a player's talent, the highest amount of money, the biggest overpay. Go ahead.
Texting right now.
Avec?
Don't do it.
He watches. Don't worry about it. Or his wife watches and then tells him.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
that's my understanding.
Jesse.
Telephone.
Yeah. Telephone. Don't do it.
No, I've heard some conspiracy theories. Do you want to hear the conspiracy theory?
Yes.
Love.
So Connie, Connie, how long has he been at the job here, fellas? Like, is this his 10th, 11th year? What's he doing here?
No, he's brand new, right?
He's brand new. Jeez, okay. So, and in terms of like extensions and signings, like how many of these big things has he done so far?
Really nothing of substance. I
feel like this is probably his first big one.
Yeah, it's kind of,
And if he wanted to sort of like stress test the org and see, where the leaks were, maybe you float something that's not true and see where it surfaces. Because Connie's playing chess, not checkers, right?
He's a conniving little bastard.
Yeah.
So are you saying
kill him with the smiles? Kill him with the smiles and see what happens.
Are you saying
sure, I'm the dumb guy in the room?
That Conroy is potentially in cahoots with Friedman?
No, I'm saying Connie's throwing some stuff around the org and seeing, hey, What am I going to hear from where? Let's.
Are you going to get honesty from the people helping you? Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is if you're one of my henchmen, Rhett, I'm going to say, hey, we're looking at 3 times 6. And if I'm talking to this guy, I'm saying, hey, we're looking at 4 times 4. And I just see what I hear from different insiders, different places, and say, interesting.
This has gotten a little muddy, I have to admit.
Well, I told you, conspiracy theory.
Yeah, but I don't know what.
This is 0% true. I really.
So who is he conspiring with? It's not Friedman.
We can trust in the org.
That's what my question was. So he's got guys that are helping him, and he's throwing it out there just to test them, to see if they're going to be yes men or you're an idiot, Conroy, an idiot.
No, more to see who's leaking stuff to the media. That's sort of what I'm saying. Yeah.
Screw the media, dummies.
Stupid media.
So you think you could play a hard game out there tonight?
Shit. Wasn't that the answer?
How does it feel? Shit. I got to get that clip. I need that.
No,
so good.
And I guess I don't really believe that at all is a real thing that's happening, so much as I think that Craig is very aware of all this stuff. I don't think that he needs Rhett to text him and say this isn't a good idea. I think he also understands what would be a very, restrictive signing down the road.
I'll say this. If
you've got good hand signals too.
If this goes through, then I worry about Dave Nonis. I worry about Iginla. I worry about Pascal. I worry about everybody because it feels like it's a more collaborative effort than ever.
I disagree.
And if it goes through, are all these guys arm in arm in harmony?
No,
it looks good to me.
It speaks to a bigger issue that Ryan can.
Hey, don't step over Jack laughing at my stuff. I heard Jack laughing there.
It was, yeah. You love the off mic laugh. Sorry there, Rhett. So what are you hitting at, Rhett? I'm not picking that up.
Go ahead.
Who runs the fucking show for those 4?
Well, it's Connie. Everything stops.
No. If they're all in agreement,
okay.
Go higher up, nothing's changed.
Look, if the owner's doing this, then sure. I don't know that I can go there yet, but look, if there's one person that's probably more invested on being a playoff team every year,
Boomer is saying if all 4 of those geniuses down there are agreeing that this is a good deal, you question them, or is it coming from
North? Yeah, and my point was this: if you want to look at the track record here, the owner is hell-bent on short-term success, not a long-term plan, and so that would fit what you're sort of drawing there.
And you know what's the worst part? Is it feels like we don't like Michael Backlund. We don't want him to have the captaincy, and we don't want him to have this deal. It has nothing to do with that. We're fine with you, Michael Backlund. You're a fine player. I just don't know that you're worth that kind of money. I don't know that you should have that much term, and I don't know that you're the right guy for the C. You be you. You're Michael Backlund. You're Michael Backlund. That's great. Be Michael Backlund. There's some things you're very good at, and there's other things that I just don't know are tied to you, namely 3 years, 5.5, and a captaincy.
What is, last note on this, what's a deal you would say, yep, we got to get that done if you're Craig Conroy? That is the deal.
It's $4 million.
Pardon me?
If he wants 3 years, it's $4 million.
So 3 times 4 you're saying yes to?
I don't like it, but I would maybe be okay with it. And none of the fancy no move, no trade bullshit. No.
I think that's palatable. Because if in the last year you had to move him, you eat half, it's $2 million. He's fine. That's not a problem. Do you know what's the number for you?
I come back to it, and I don't think ever captaincy should be part of a negotiation.
No.
So take it away. What deal works for you?
But if it is, then yeah, you brought up 4.4, 4.5.
I said 4.25 times 2, and that's clearly not what's out there. And that was, again, on the spot off the top of my head, and that's low, I think.
It probably takes 3 years, doesn't it?
Well, I'm not saying what's it going to take to get done. What I'm saying is, what would you be like? No. Yes, I can live with that.
I'm almost. If you get it at 2 years,
yes, I'm the same.
I'm really kind of wide open. I can handle 2 years.
2 times 5, I could live with.
Like every bloody deal, and some are 2 years, right? But that last year, it's like, God, we could sure use that $5 million. Could sure use that $4.5 million.
And look, maybe he's great in 3 years after a 2 times 5, and the cap's at $100 million. You're like, shit, we'll give you 6 times 1. Let's go.
Sign again.
Yeah.
Or just fucking trade him and go young like the rest of the league. And like,
And then you flip the script. And if I'm Michael Backlund, this is potentially my last contract. Who knows? It's 3 years. I'm not signing for 2 years. Why would I sign for 2 years? I'll wait till the summer. I'll get a 3-year deal somewhere. I love Calgary, but
this is why I go back to frickin' June and I'm moving everyone. And I'm
still can
move everyone. I'll eat salary. I want picks and I want young, and I'm going to rebuild it again under my vision as the new GM of the Calgary Flames. I'm sick of trying to patch over. What was that? The red green show where you get the
duct tape.
Yeah. No.
Find you handy. Yeah.
No. Who was the guy, the good looking fellow? He had the TV show, the Maverick. Maverick?
Who?
No, it was a TV show, and he fixed everything. Not Maverick.
Oh, Home Improvement.
No,
yeah.
No, not Home Improvement.
It
was more of a spy. He'd get himself into trouble.
Oh, MacGyver.
Oh, yeah, MacGyver.
Get some tin foil, some string.
Yes.
Do you have a lighter and some bubble gum?
I don't want MacGyver this.
No MacGyvers.
No MacGyver. MacGyver's great in a pinch, but not as a it's not a strategy.
Not long term.
No.
Not long term.
I'm with you. And you know what the worst case scenario is here, fellas? You give them term, you give them money, and this team is no good. And now you're trying to move 3.5 years of Michael Backlund.
You're trying to move.
You're trying to get young, and he's got this deal. I don't see
trying to move Backlund, Kadri, Huberdeau, Maybelline.
Yeah. Listen, and I asked you, it's just at the very base of it. How many players at 35 are getting raises?
How many players at 35 are still playing?
Not many. Yeah, he's
how many on
already.
Each team?
He's already beaten the odds.
Max?
It'll be 35 in the spring.
Play out the year. If you get something for him, you do. If you don't, hey, you know what? You were a first-round pick. You played more than a decade for us. You've been a fine player. Best of luck out there. We hope you win something somewhere. Get your free agent money. We're going to take that $5 million and
Pike Bomb. Do a quick thing for us. Figure out how many 35-year-olds are in the league.
It's not really.
There can't be that many.
It's not many.
Pike Bomb's
and look, if you are good at the deadline and leading the division, and you've got great goaltending and team defense is smothering, and Backlund, you're like, shit, this guy is a leader. Nothing stopping you from signing him then.
Sure.
I really don't think now's the time.
No, because you need a captain.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out more of our content right here on the Flames Nation YouTube page. We had a bunch of great long form interviews. You can check out some videos we've done as well outside of the studio. And of course, if you want more writing or merchandise stuff, flamesnation.ca or nationgear.ca. Appreciate you watching.